You know, after every acquirement that Phil Spencer and Microsoft strategically and somewhat geniusly is able to pull through with, if it's Bethesda, Activision, things of that such. I always hear the Nintendo fans say, it doesn't apply to me, so I don't care. You know? I'm sorry. Can I do that over? Because my Nintendo homies, we don't talk like that. I'm just so used to mocking people, you know what I'm saying? So I make that voice. So let me redo that, please. I'm always hearing Nintendo fanboys say this, yo, man, it don't really apply to me, you know what I'm saying? It's not a big deal to me because it doesn't apply to me. I'm not really going to stand up and say anything because this has nothing to do with me. I don't care about Bethesda. I don't care about Activision and Blizzard. I don't care about none of that. But trust me, Nintendo fans, when I was coming up with my notes for this video, I was like, oh my God, this dude is Thanos. Phil Spencer is Thanos. You know what I mean? That mother sucker is coming, man. He is coming for everybody, bro. He's coming for everybody. Trust me. Now, do I think that Phil Spencer is going to buy Nintendo? No. But I think Phil Spencer is dead struck. He is dead on course. He is really focused on getting Game Pass on every single gaming platform. I think he's super close to doing it with PlayStation. And I believe what's next is Nintendo. Do I know what studio they're going to be able to acquire that can really affect Nintendo to the point where Nintendo says, you know what? Go ahead and put your Game Pass on our Nintendo Switch or on our Nintendo platforms. For Nintendo, it's going to be a lot harder because we don't come to play Nintendo games for multi-plats. Excuse me. We don't buy Nintendo consoles to play multi-plats. We don't. And that's been one of the beauties of the Nintendo over the years. And something that Dude Bros and fake gamers had kind of clown Nintendo for over the years. Now, multiplats are selling a whole lot better on Nintendo Switch. You got the Octopath Travelers did outstanding. Monster Hunter Rise. Square Enix and Capcom games are doing phenomenal. Phenomenal on Nintendo Switch platforms. Way better than any PlayStation platform ever. Phenomenal. PlayStation fans claim they love Square Enix and Capcom and all this other stuff, but their numbers ain't adding up to prove that they love it. I don't know. Nintendo's going to be a harder for Phil Spencer to kind of crack that wall because I don't know who or what. Maybe you guys are smarter than me. Maybe you guys would know who they could acquire that's going to make Nintendo buckle and say, you know what? Game Pass it is. But I do think Nintendo is the final piece to Phil Spencer's master plan. Xbox wants to create family games to be like Nintendo. Why? Why? This is an article from 2 years ago. When I saw this, I thought that was very interesting. I was like, why? Microsoft has always been a platform. Well, you would say the Xbox fans would make it seem like the Xbox platform was more of a mature console that catered to more of a mature audience. Why would Phil Spencer go out of his way to start trying to create the Nintendo experience on the Xbox. Now, Phil Spencer's got a couple of things going for them. They've already had Banjo-Kazooie, and they were so gracious enough to allow Nintendo to put Banjo-Kazooie on the Nintendo Switch Plus expansion pack this month, I think a couple of days ago. Not only that, they were so gracious to put Ori and the Blind Forest and the sequel to the Ori series, 2 great games on the Nintendo Switch. I really appreciate that from Phil Spencer so much. But by acquiring Activision and Blizzard, yes, you got Call of Duty. You just destroyed the PlayStation fans by acquiring Call of Duty. A year from now, Microsoft will acquire Rockstar, allegedly. But that's besides the fact. You just got Activision and Blizzard, right? And with the Activision and Blizzard purchase, you got the Crash Bandicoots. You got Spyro the Dragon. You're already working your way up to building a more kid-friendly platform with the Xbox, with some of the most iconic characters known to man, with literally the best platformers in the business. And in my opinion, I feel like it's just the beginning. Am I concerned about Microsoft buying up platforms and making a more kid-friendly experience and trying to entice Nintendo into putting Game Pass on the Nintendo Switch? No, I was always for Game Pass on the Nintendo Switch. I was always for it. Do I feel like if Microsoft continues to go out there and acquire these studios, is going to be a big monopoly and it's going to put Nintendo out of business? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So that's the thing that you could say you don't have to be concerned of compared to the PlayStation fanboys. Jim Ryan, PlayStation, over the past 10 years, I won't just put it all on Jim Ryan, even though he might have been the main head the whole time. But Jim Ryan did everything within his power to destroy the PlayStation brand by removing its identity. So it's easy to take PlayStation out, but it's not going to be able to take Nintendo out whatsoever. But I think for Phil Spencer, it's all about Game Pass. Game Pass, Game Pass, Game Pass, Game Pass. Hold on real quick. I got a couple of notes here that I want to share with you guys. Hold on. Xbox won't stop with Activision. They already have their sights on more studios. This ain't the end, baby. They are going to find that company that's going to be able to bend Nintendo's arm and leave Nintendo in a little bit of an uncomfortable position. Trust me. Phil Spencer is very good at playing the Mr. Good White Man role. I'm telling you, he's a master at it, but I'm telling you, the mother son is an evil genius. And I respect him for that. I really do. Check this out. When Phil Spencer is able to get that final piece, that Nintendo, and he's able to hold his gauntlet up high, then he's going to be able to go after the true competition. The true people have true power. PlayStation, Blizzard, Nintendo, they don't have power. They don't have the power. That's a spoiler for this week's podcast. Listen, just nothing more than a simple update video. When we get to the external podcast, and that's where we get raw, we get real, we get even more in depth, right? Don't we? Stuff that you see on the external podcast, you do not see on other people's podcasts. That's why I can't come out and give out spoilers on what the topic is going to be about, because somebody might take it. You know, man, I can't do it. I'm like, yo, man, that was my topic, man. And I know my mind is so twisted and wicked and evil. I know I can't be putting out my information out there, man, because if I see somebody with it, I'm gonna get pissed off. I'm like, how'd he get that? He got it from me because I was sitting around babbling and telling. Ooh, you guys are gonna want to be here for this week, man. It's gonna be a powerful episode. We might be on for at least 24 hours. 24 hours of just straight talking. I got so much daggone information I want to share with you guys. Xbox says Facebook and Amazon are the main gaming competitors. He's right. He's right. It's not Nintendo and PlayStation. As we can see now, we know for a fact it's not PlayStation. And Nintendo's doing good money. They're making good bank, but they're not moving money like Facebook and Amazon. They're not doing money like that. They ain't got that type of power that Amazon and all of them are accumulating. Especially they did extremely well over the pandemic, but they didn't do it like how Amazon did it, man. You were forced to do business with Amazon over that situation. You were forced to do it. Meanwhile, everybody in business had to shut down. The only corporations that were left open were Amazon, were Facebook, and were Microsoft. Everything else was forced to shut down. That showed you how much power they have. The true competitors are not Nintendo and PlayStation. Let's keep it real. And we can see it now. The real money makers are those three. Facebook is currently creating the metaverse. They're creating another dimension. They're creating a whole nother reality, a whole nother matrix, a whole nother world. That's what Facebook is doing. They're not even called Facebook anymore. They're called Meta, letting you know they created a new parallel universe. Nintendo can't do that. Maybe Nintendo can't do. I've seen a couple people walking around here like that. You ever look at some Nintendo fans sometimes? Respectfully, some of you guys, some of the Nintendo fans, they look like they're stuck in some type of time warp. Sometimes I get to look at them, I'm like, what kind of dimension is he in? Right? And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I respect that somebody can just go to another dimension. Just, you know what I mean? He's in Kirby land all of a sudden. You'd be like, how'd you get there? How? Yeah, Microsoft needs Nintendo. Microsoft needs PlayStation because we are going into another paradigm, man. The Great Reset. I'm not going to say that word any couple because that's going to trigger some algorithms. I'm not going to say that again. So if you missed what I said, rewind it and listen to it again. That's what we're going to. You will own nothing and be happy about it. That's what Game Pass is. You will pay us every single month and own absolutely nothing, and you will love it. That's the reason why you see people all over the world, 25 million people, currently acquiring Game Pass on social media, cheering on Game Pass. Now, am I mad? No, this is just what it is. I can't control this. I can't. This is where we've been. Is it Phil Spencer's fault? No, we've already been here with Netflix. We've already been here. They've already been gearing us up, going all the way back to the 90s with blockbusters and Hollywood video. You will own nothing and you'll love it. That's the reason why I am a really hard on going physical, even if it's TV, DVDs, Blu-rays, 4K, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation, Xbox games. I like to go physical. You will own nothing and you will love it. That's where we're going. Are you ready? That's all Phil Spencer needs, man. It's that final piece, that Nintendo Switch. And then once you get Nintendo Switch, oh, look, Phil Spencer calls for a cross-platform ban program. How are you going to be able to do that? If I could put my Xbox Game Pass on your consoles, we can work together on banning people, getting you up out of here. Oh, you have a problem with our services? Goodbye. We'll just say you were using a racial slur or you were cursing or the algorithm that picked up a certain words you said. We'll get you up out of here. Are you guys ready? You will own nothing and you will like it. You'll love it. I was wondering, I was like, how is Phil Spencer going to create a cross-platform banning program? And I said, oh, now it's all starting to make sense. That's how you do it. Get Game Pass on everything. And or just buy everything. And I'll ban you on everything. I'm not for censorship. I'm not for banning. I don't like it. If I would prefer for the people just to censor me. You know, at times I do go a little bit far. I don't feel like I'm going too far enough, but I can understand you got an African American who's extremely masculine, extremely good looking. And then if that African American who's extremely good looking, who has no insecurities, who doesn't look to praise anybody that's not him unless it's the Most High, I understand that people can be very sensitive about those things and they will try to find ways to cancel you. Not just me, a lot of people out there, a lot of heterosexual, masculine men out there, they will do that to them. So I would prefer if the people said, you know what, we're not rocking with you, Zobie 70. But there's one thing I do not want is, number one, the government trying to ban me from my freedom of speech and freedom of rights as a red-blooded American that my ancestors and your ancestors have fought for. And then government is number one. And number two, corporations. I definitely don't want no corporation to sit here on their high horse to try to preach morality to me. The government and the corporations are trying to preach morality to me by banning me. Are you crazy? Now, somebody like me can be easily banned. That's why, because, and it's not because I'm online just talking crazy. I'm online throwing racial epithets. I'm online just being crazy like that. You know what I'm saying? But, I'm a businessman. I play anime games. I play fighting games. I play video games. And, the art of Zobie 70 also comes with a little bit of smack talk. That's something that we've been doing since the 90s, or I've been doing since the 90s, is smack talk through our video games. I don't want the algorithm to pick that up and say, you know what, that's offensive. Get out of here. No, just friendly jarring amongst one each other. And Lord knows what type of rules and stipulations that they're going to have, what type of trigger words they're going to have to get you banned up off of their services. And then as you get banned up off of those services, you will own nothing and you will like it. So all of those games that you acquired through your services with PlayStation, Nintendo, and Xbox are all gone if you bought it digitally. Listen, I'm getting too heavy. Guys. I'm sorry. This was supposed to be nothing more than a simple update. I probably went a little bit too long. Phil Spencer confirms in an interview in response to an acquisition deal that he wants to work with new teams or franchises he loved as a kid, essentially confirming more Crash and Spyro games. Basically saying he wants more games that are going to cater to the Nintendo fans. Yeah. That's my update for today. I went too long, but I'll see you guys tomorrow.